Hello and welcome back to another video. Today we are talking about a coastal system which is going to dump rain and produce heavy winds or strong winds in the northeast. So let's get right on into it with the NAM 3-kilometer model. So throughout the early morning hours on Monday, we will see some light to moderate rain for most of the northeast, maybe some snow in the very high elevations of the White Mountains in New Hampshire. But eventually that system all moves out and we start to look to the south. We have plenty of moisture coming off the Atlantic here, and everything starts to turn to the northeast. Low pressure forms 991 millibars. This will drop very suddenly as heavy rainfall moves onto the coast of the northeast. We see that low pressure intensifying down into the 980s. Now this low pressure does another thing that will increase the overall storm totals for rainfall, which is that it stalls out. So the low pressure remains in this area for probably about a good, let's see, so it starts out right here. That is about 9Z Tuesday. Then it finally departs about the same time on Wednesday. So about 24 hours, the low pressure is in the exact same spot, which means right here. So anywhere from southern New England to most of New York, as well as parts of Pennsylvania and New Jersey, are going to be well within this system for multiple hours, therefore increasing the overall storm total. Speaking of the total accumulated precipitation, here it is. So Monday morning, most of the region will be seeing a very light total. So this is right there. Alright. So most areas will be seeing about a half an inch to an inch. Some areas could see a little bit more than that. But the next round comes in, and the overall total for these two systems here could be right here right around Atlantic City, 10 inches of rain. Over here in Cape Cod, 7 inches of rain. Even in areas like Connecticut, 2 inches of rain. So, very high storm totals for this storm. Now, finally, we're going to take a look at our wind speeds. Now, with coastal systems, we do usually see plenty of winds, just like we would see with a nor'easter. Nor'easter is just basically the same thing as a coastal storm. So, we are looking at this right here. There's that low pressure that forms as it gets a little closer to the coastline. You can see here, Long Island, this is sustained winds, 22 knots, which is approximately, about between 25 and 30 miles per hour. Then we see even in more northern areas like southern Connecticut, 20 knots. So, and as this storm continues to progress inland, we could see areas such as eastern Long Island get into 40, 50 mile an hour sustained winds as this storm continues to strengthen before it eventually starts to move away and those winds do weaken. But there is going to be a time period, especially in eastern Long Island, parts of Cape Cod, even in coastal New Jersey, where we could see sustained winds between 30 and maybe even 55 60 miles per hour for at least 6 to 12 hours. So again, we have all the factors here of a typical nor'easter, but the only difference here is that instead of, a nor'easter which typically moves from DC to Philly to New York to Boston and up into Maine, it kind of follows that track straight up the coastline. This will stall out right in between Philadelphia and New York, and then eventually turn all the way around and head back toward the southeast. So overall, a very impactful system coming The timeline for this is Tuesday into Wednesday before eventually starting to move out through Thursday. But heavy rain, strong winds, typical nor'easter stuff. So that is all I have for today. If you enjoyed this video, consider leaving a like, subscribing, and hitting the bell. And I'll see you guys next time.